Whether you're dealing with back pain, building strength for your back surgery, or in the rehab phase, these are the exercises that I recommend because they work for me. So let's get started and move through them together. For detailed, guided explanations of each movement, check out the full video on my channel.
Okay, so we're going to start with the hip hinge. I want you to take the dowel behind the head, the upper back and the bum, soft bend in the knees, and then from there I want you to just bend from the hip, getting that nice hamstring stretch, and then exhale as you come up, squeezing glutes all the way. Okay.
How many reps are we doing?
So we're doing about 8 of them, just as a warm-up, and then we'll see how that feels. That's it. So you can inhale when you go down, lengthening in the muscles, and then I want you to exhale as you shorten glutes, hamstrings coming up. So it's a drive up. Only go as far as you're comfortable. Making sure that you draw those ribs in a bit as well, so we're not overarching in the back. Looks good. Still comfortable? It's good alignment with the knees and everything.
We've worked hard on these knees.
Last 2. And relax, that's great, well done. Okay, then from there we're going onto hands and knees on the mat, and we're going to start with a cat camel, so more for mobility. So when you go into this position, I want you to fully round in the spine, tucking the chin in, and then also just slightly arching in the back as you take the head up. And again, only going as far as what you're comfortable with.
Okay, if I were to have more levels of fusion, would this be adjusted?
You can just make the movement a bit smaller, so not as extreme range of motion, but this might be something that you won't be able to do for a long time after operation. So it'll take time getting back to that again. Because we still need to mobilize the rest of the spine, those ones that aren't impacted by the surgery. That's very good. Still comfortable. And then tuck the chin as you go, so that full rounding, so we get cervical spine in as well. That's great.
This feels really good, opening up my hips.
Good. As long as there's not too much compression in the lower back today. And you can do about 2 more.
It's 8 months, I still get a little stiff in this back.
But that's also good grounding through the shoulders, which I enjoy seeing, is that full protraction of the shoulder blades, getting like a push off from the floor each time that you round as well. That's great. Okay. So then from there, we want to go into more of a neutral spine, so you're not overly rounded or arched, and then we're going to put the hand behind the head. We're rotating, again, only as much as what you're comfortable with, so don't rotate into the point of pain or discomfort.
How many reps are we doing?
So we'll do 6 on each side, and I want you to breathe out as you open up.
Breathe.
Out as you open up. So we're breathing in to lower down, and then exhale, open up. That's it. That's very good. And you're almost thinking of pulling with the muscles across there. And nice and strong through the stabilizing shoulder. So try and not sink through the shoulder blade. 1 more. That's very good. Hips are nice and steady. Well done.
Okay.
Yes.
So that you can also see me. Okay. Breathe in as well.
Exhale up. So breathe out. That's it. And you're keeping hips nice and still. So it's really just mostly an upper body, upper back rotation. Then again, you should feel some effort with that stabilizing on the shoulder. Strong push through the ground. Once more, that's looking very good. And relax, great. Okay, then from there, we'll go onto the back. And we're actually going to start with the pelvic tilts. So whilst lying down, I want you to put hands on the hips, and we're gonna just rock the pelvis through its full range of motion. So you're tilting forward, arching back away, that's right. And then we're tilting back. And as you tilt back, think of deeper core activation, drawing in and up. I want to say it's an excessive activation this time around. So now you can plant back into the mat as much as is comfortable. But don't push to the point where there's a sensation of compression or pain. Only through the range that's comfortable.
This is a very comfortable stretch.
Yeah.
It unlocks all those tight muscles in my pelvis.
And I think especially if you take it at your own pace, then it's such a safe movement to do as well. And this you can do lying on the bed before standing up or when going to sleep as well. That's it.
How many reps are we doing?
We're just doing about 8 to 10 of them. So it's more of a mobility loosening up before we go into the work. See a bit of shakiness. It's good activation there. You can relax completely. Now, finding neutral spine between those 2 points, so not fully pressed down into the mat and also not arching too much.
So a little bit of a gap.
That's it. Okay, so I want to be able to put my hand there, and then it needs to maintain that same contact all throughout. So then I want you to go into deeper core activation. So we're going to inhale for preparation, that's it, expanding chest, and then exhale again, that same drawing in and up without pressing into my hand. That's great. And it's inhale, relax, and exhale up, and it's those pelvic floor muscles pulling upwards as well. Very good. And it's about a 50 to 70% activation. It's not a hard bracing, but you're doing very well. So it's like softening more than what it is pushing out. And this is just preparing us for the next exercise. So you can do about 3 more. Because you're already quite used to this one. For someone that hasn't done this before, they might have to do more just to grasp the feeling and that sensation. That's it. Okay, so then we're going into tabletop leg extension. So in that position, I just want you to now bring one leg up into tabletop. We're going to exhale as we take the leg out. With that exhalation, I want you to try and prevent the back from arching or any change of the spinal position. So we're keeping it completely still. Okay. Yes. And then inhale, prepare, and exhale, extend, and it's almost like a pulley pulling upwards, keeping that spine still, not allowing the leg to pull it into that arched position. That's very good, Carol. We'll do 8 on each side. That's it. We're halfway. If it does start to feel too heavy, then we can go bent leg as well.
Okay. How would that work?
So then it's just tapping the heel down. So instead of extending, we're actually just tapping heel down and up.
Okay.
That's it.
So you might want to start with this if these are all new movements to you.
So it's just a shorter lever that's being put on the abdominal muscles. Slightly easier to perform. You can do 1 more and then we can go on to the other side. And we'll do the same there. So starting with that full extension, because you still have that ability. Mm-hmm. It's just the endurance we're still working on. That's it. I'm just keeping my hand there to almost remind you to keep that contact, but it's feeling very good. Go into bent leg now. That's great. That's once more.
Remembering to relax my shoulders.
I think something you can try is crossing the arms over the chest, because then you're not pressing down into the arms to help support, but it sometimes makes it a bit more difficult. So there's a fine amount of work that's allowed through upper body with that, but yes, more core. Okay, then from there we're going into bridges. So we're going to do 2 variations. We'll start with the normal glute bridge. It's feet flat on the floor, and then from there I just want you to, still with the arms relaxed but not pushing down intentionally, you're just going to exhale as you lift up. But as we said now, start with that core activation and then press up, so you're not pushing up beyond that neutral point. Right. And then just coming down however you're comfortable, whether that's a rolling action bone by bone or if it's just straight down now after operation. Yeah.
And we're doing 8 of these?
Yes. So think of that core creating that ceiling and the glutes pushing against that, and we're finding that nice and straight line, and then slowly down. You don't have to hold for too long, so it's just a moment. Good.
This is also one of those I find very useful before bed, just to loosen up everything.
It's good before bed and also even waking up in the morning, because it gets you ready for everything else you need to do. Walking, standing, everything. That's very good. Just squeezing glute all the way. You've got 2 to go. If you want, you can actually lift the arms up and away. So now we're also making sure that we're not using the upper body. But this is a bit more of a progressed version. And relaxing. You can just have a breather for a moment. If you want, you can pull the knees towards the chest. Just relaxing there for a bit, as long as it's comfortable, because we're going to do the other variation of the bridge. Yeah, so just a few seconds, nice deep breath in and long out. So you can bring the legs down, you can place the feet down, and then this time we're going to push up through the heels. So I actually want you to anchor heels already before you start. You can take it slightly further out, and then it's an exhale up, inhale down, exactly the same as what you did with normal bridge. Now it's just a bit more hamstring activation as well. Hopefully no feeling of cramping. So this is a muscle that tends to want to cramp if we isolate it a bit more. Good job, well done. Just make sure this knee isn't flaring out, so you want them to stay in that straight line for now, and the foot also following that line. Done. That's good activation. We've got 4 to go. Again, keeping ribs drawn in. Last one, making sure that you're lifting the bones up high enough. That's it. And relax. Very good. Well done. Okay, so then we're actually going onto the side. And we're going to go with a side plank on the knees. Yeah, so both knees bent, and I want knees relatively in line with the body. So you can bring them slightly back. Yeah. So let's say the knee and the lower leg is the support. And then from there, we're pressing up nice and strong. And we'll try and hold that for about 15 to 20 seconds. I want you to separate shoulder blades. Think that you're pushing away from the floor. And the head and the neck is just following that same line of the spine. That's it. Good. Keep it up. Just want to see what that looks like. Open up the chest a bit more. That's great. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly down and relax. Good. How's shoulder feeling?
Good.
Great. And rest of body also fine?
Yeah.
Good. And then we can actually swap sides.
It's a bit of a stiffer day today, so these things feel a little harder than usual.
And I'd want you to, when you're doing multiple sets, to alternate the sides. So not doing the one side the whole time, but actually alternating every time. Okay. Again, same thing, nice and strong, push up. And yeah, so it's stacked right over one another. That's it. Looking out in front of you, so lengthen in the neck. That's great. Nice and deep breathing, so don't hold your breath with this one. It's a hold for the muscles, not the lungs. Slight twist back. That's very good. Keep it up, keep it up. We're holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax down. Very good, well done. You can actually stay on that side and then you can lie completely flat. We're going to do this side lying hip abduction. So we're going to lift that leg out and up, and it's top leg straight, bottom leg bent or straight, depending on the day. I want to say with the bent leg, it's a bit easier because you have more support. We want those hip bones stacked right over one another, so you don't want to roll back when you lift. And then you can start lifting straight leg up and a controlled movement down, keeping knee locked. That's it. And try to not lift that knee or leg forward. Think of it slight posterior instead, backwards. That's it.
It always feels like it's an exaggeration of that.
Yeah, and that's why we don't actually have as much range there. So it feels like that because a little is already a big part of the range, if that makes sense. And whilst you're doing this, we've got 4 to go. I want you to keep a nice and strong core. So you're thinking of almost pulling the rib cage up and in so that there's a tiny hole here where my hand is peeking through now. Keep that knee pointing forward, so make sure it's not rotating in. You can do one more. And you should feel glute working quite a bit. Great, okay. You can just rest it for a moment. What you can do is straighten this top one out, and then let's take this one across, and it's just helping with that lengthening in the front there for a moment. Nice and deep breathing, and then once you are ready, you can slowly move on to the opposite side. Now we're working that bum. For all the mountain walking you want to do. That's it. Completely flat, nice and comfortable, hips right over one another. And I'm just going to bring you into this straight line position. So we want the foot in line with the rest of the body eventually. Okay, you can lift up. That's very good, well done. And again, not collapsing in when you lift. So nice and strong in abdominals, deeper core still active. And that's also why we're exhaling with the lift, so we're actually engaging properly throughout. Curious, what does this side feel like in comparison to the other?
More stable.
Okay. Yeah, it stays in that line better than what the other side did. So see, there's a bit of dropping of the ribs now. We've got 3 to go. Just remember that knee. And relax, very good. Just a moment to breathe and relax that muscle. We're in any case going to stretch it now, fortunately. So you can slowly turn onto your back. And then we're actually going to stretch that glute. So I want you to cross the ankle over the knee. And then today I'll help you, just range-wise. So I'm going to take this leg up and just place it there, but you can hold it with the hands, yes. So that's two ways of doing it, whether this is a wall or someone assisting, or you actually holding. Depending on your range, I feel like with forward flexion, if you can get there on that day. What you want to try and just do is relax this one open as much as possible.
Today, that's as far as it's been.
If you want to relax the arms for now, you can. Then you can, okay, that's fine. That's it. Then that's great. Just keeping that. So what you'd also want to do is feel both hips on the mat. So you don't want to lift away from the mat. So now you can actually think of a bit of an anterior tilt. Slight arching in the lower back. That's going to help just lengthen that glute even more. Glute / piriformis, all of those structures there. And we're doing this for at least 30 seconds. I'm looking at my imaginary clock. It's fine holding still. And also just nice and deep breathing, so that helps with relaxing into that stretch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Slowly going onto opposite side.
Oh, so stiff.
It seems a bit tighter. That's it. And then on these tighter sides, you can always come back for another round of stretching. But I must say it looks quite nice. The hips aren't shifting as much as they used to. So you can see there's not that complete pull in the lower back either. And focus on the breathing. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Okay, and then you can come up onto the knees. We're going into our hip flexor stretches. So this is just aiding balance if necessary. And we're starting with the upright hip flexor stretch. So I want toes tucked in at the back if possible, but you can keep it down if it feels like cramping.
Can we do it this way maybe,
Okay.
so it's better vision?
That's it. And then that tucking of the tailbone, pulling hip bone up. And then you should feel left front thigh stretching up.
All the way down there.
That's it. That's great. Yeah, again, just nice and deep breathing in this position, but this looks good. It's usually one that you're quite comfortable with.
Shall I raise my hand at all?
You can, yeah, you can definitely, to lengthen that full side, full length of the body. That's it. I think that's the important thing, is almost thinking of a string pulling you up. Yeah, so you're really getting that full range. For now, we're quite upright, so we're not leaning either back or to the front. You can relax the arm down, then you can relax the toes at the back. I want you to take the front foot further forward, and then we're sitting the hips towards that foot. That might be a bit too far, so just slightly closer in. Yeah, that's it. I'll bring this a bit further forward as well. And it might go a bit higher up now. So maybe not as low down on the thigh or the quad. So which one stretches most?
This brings in a lot more stretch across the pelvis.
Okay.
But the first one was the biggest stretch.
Yes. Quad itself, yeah.
Quad, yeah.
Okay, then you slowly come out of that, and then we can turn around. And we'll start with the upright one. There was a proper hip internal rotation with that. It's fine, it's okay to be able to go there as long as you don't spend too much time there.
I have very flexible bones, lots of hypermobility. It's not a good idea to do it. I missed it. Okay.
I'm just going to move this foot slightly out. Yeah, see. And then hips, if you can, twisting without flaring knee. That's it. That's good. And if you had to compare the two sides to one another now.
It was tighter in the
Okay.
on the other side, yeah.
Again, try and bring that right hip a bit further forward in this relative to left. So you're almost rotating there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Still thinking of that, yeah. Sometimes the arms gets tired before the end of the stretch already. That's good. And then you can lower it down, you can relax the toes, front foot further forward, and sitting into it. I think with this one it's important to also not go into that very arched position. It's fine, but with back it might not be. Okay. So in general it's not a movement to be afraid of, but you just don't want to put too much pressure there.
So rather move the chest forward.
Yes, whole body forward. That's it. Comfortable? Mm-hmm. Five, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Great.
Right.
Well done. And then if you want to go into child's pose, you can go and rest there for a moment. No discomfort?
No.
And where do you feel most of the stretching?
Yeah.
Okay. One side more than the other or similar?
The right.
Yeah. You can see it's quite tight here today. So whereas with the glute stretch, this didn't come out, but now you are almost sitting into one hip more than the other. That's where it's nice to also walk the hands out to left now. Then we can open up that right side a bit more. And again, not too far, just to where you feel a bit of a stretching. Might go all the way up along the side. And then to the opposite side. And what's the comparison between the two sides now?
Definitely was tight on the...
Yeah, going towards left, right side. You can slowly come back to middle and then slowly up. And then we're done. Well done.
Thanks for joining us.